So I wanted to just jump on here, make a quick informative video, and it is just basically my opinion of why I think more businesses should pivot and focus their time and energy on making grazing tables than doing just the boards and the boxes. First things first, I'm not saying give up boards, boxes, cones, and just do grazing tables. Unless you fall in love with grazing tables and you really want to cut those out, then that works too. This is your business, you make all the decisions. So I think grazing tables are not as taboo as they were during this whole pandemic. And I think we have a lot more people interested in having them at their parties. I also think cones are a great thing to keep in your back pocket as an add-on in addition to a grazing table. So grazing tables are the most rewarding, satisfying, and I also think grazing tables are such a fun thing to do. Like when you're in the commercial kitchen and you're preparing a bunch of boxes or even boards for that matter, it can become tedious, repetitive, and a little boring, really. Like it's the same thing. But with a grazing table, you have so much space. It literally is like a canvas, and the food, the fruits, the veggies, the dips, the carvings, the bread, that is your canvas, and you just get to paint it all. And I have never felt something more satisfying when it comes to creating, where I've really gotten lost into it and it feels more meditative. But then there's also that side that's like, oh my God, I have how much time to finish this? So it's a little bit of everything, but at the end of the day, when you finish that table, it is completely satisfying. And this last reason of why I think you should probably consider pivoting your focus from boards and boxes and cones and focusing more on tables is because money. There is so much more money in grazing tables than there are in boards. And if you have like a nice rhythm going of selling a bunch of boards and boxes, that's great. Continue that. I'm not poo-pooing on anybody's company or anybody's workflow. I'm just suggesting less work, more money is what works for me. And so I would rather spend my weekends doing weddings and tables and making a couple $1,000s versus working, a ton on boards and figuring out who's going to deliver them, and then I have to go deliver them. And it's not as satisfying as when you create a table for your client. They get to see the table at the end and they're just so in awe of it, and it just feels so good. So those are my reasons why I think you should start to pivot and start a grazing table business. Don't be afraid because, I have a thing called Grazeology 101. And if you are interested in learning how to do a flat lay and you've been doing like boards and boxes, it's super easy. I break down all my color techniques, what should go on first, how do you set up, what happens if you run out of space, where do you start on the table. And then you can go to my Instagram account. I have posted a table formula of like how many people should you have for this size table. And that's been a really great guide. All right, that's it for now, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next week. Ciao.